That evening, Murphy sat opposite her, his arrogance drained. I owe you more than apologies can hold. Natalia's eyes didn't waver, but sadness shaded them. You saw a cleaner. I saw danger. You barked just clean. But intelligence doesn't come with a uniform. I wanted peace after Michael died. This job let me observe without seeing myself erased. Until today. Murphy's voice shook as he read the briefing. 127 missions. 0 fails. Kandahar shot. Why hide? She clasped her wedding band. I thought I could leave that world behind. But skills don't vanish. I took this job because it kept me near, without being seen. She offered a ghost soft smile. Clearly, that plan failed. Institutions pivoted. Clement tried recreating her shot, lasers, computers, ballistics data, but failed every time. He admitted. She showed me what I never saw. It wasn't the gear. It was the perception. Veterans came forward, sharing stories of Ghost. How she shot in sandstorms by sensing wind through sand on her skin. Commander Jefferson said, "We thought it was mysticism. Turns out it was precision and seeing the invisible." Senator Williams visited her apartment, firm now protected by female agents at his insistence. "How can I repay you?" She offered tea in chipped cups, then changed the system that drowns voices based on insignificance. They founded Ghost Academy 6 months later, built atop an old base. No formal names. They all stood as equals before the ground. The first graduate speaker was Maria, housekeeper turned anti-terrorist hero. Heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes they wear aprons. Natalia addressed the first class. The deadliest weapon isn't in your hand, it's in your mind. Remember, the person who cleans your room might just save your life. Clement stood by her side. The boy who once taunted her now taught with humility. I learned more from her in 6 months than I did in a decade of training. He told a class of new students, many former vets, police, workers. The Ghost Protocol, listen to every voice, observe every angle, became the backbone. A year in, student Jennifer, an ex-waitress, noticed strange coordination at a big game while helping staff. Protocol taught her to speak up. She did. A major attack was averted. Academy Hall glowed with pride. Graduates wore a ghost pin, a talisman for the power of overlooked insight. Industries adopted ghost assessments. Insurance rates dropped when companies included staff input from custodians to baristas. Military academies installed mindful observation in their curricula. Harvard case-studied Falcons fall and rise. The 800-yard lesson. 5 years later, a bronze plaque stood in the city square. Here, Natalia Baker proved that heroes wear many faces. Recruits practiced invisible guardian protocols, hotel-style threat spotting in mock events. Documentarians clamored for her story. She entrusted a humble filmmaker with the tale. The resulting film, Beyond the Ghost Shot, premiered at Sundance. It showed her teaching inner-city youth to use patience and perception over violence. Fame followed. She stayed private. In the Academy's meditation closet, she cleaned her Coal .45, teaching that it wasn't about killing. It was about protecting, holding space for people deemed invisible. Students came to light when she looked at them. Her quiet wisdom echoed. Internationally, Ghost Protocol spread. A street sweeper in London broke a drug ring. A Tokyo subway cleaner stopped a gas attack. A Paris museum janitor thwarted a heist. The UN founded the Ghost Initiative. Diplomats requested ghost-trained agents. Kilimanjaro, Mumbai, capitals worldwide opened buildings under her ghost principles. Former rivals built trust through inclusive security practices. 47 nations signed the Ghost Accord, to listen, to include, to act based on insight rather than hierarchy. Natalia celebrated her 70th with an announcement. She was launching Ghost Academy International across continents, starting in Mumbai, fueled by grants, private donors, and a billionaire whose life was saved by a janitor noticing a red flag. Years later, she reflected on retirement ceremonies, students now running institutions, and a world where support staff had seats at the table. Books, awards, even Wall Street buzz used ghost checks. Businesses adopted ghost checks before decisions. Schools taught don't ghost the ghost as everyday wisdom. Corporations printed faceless resumes no more. Everyone had potential. The Academy's wall of honor showed graduates with their past jobs, baristas, janitors, factory workers now leading security forces. Their stories taught new students. Never ignore the silent one. Senate amended policies. The Baker Amendment, mandating suggestion systems for staff at all levels. NASA's janitors stopped an expensive failure. FDA and EPA discovered violations through cleaning teams. Public systems shifted. As she neared her late 70s, Natalia visited classrooms, comforted recruits, and reminded them, your mind sees what your body learns. Trust it and train it. By the time she hit her 90th birthday, the U.S. President awarded her a Medal of Freedom. She received it not in suits or ceremonies, but among students, graduates, the invisible made visible. She said, this belongs to anyone ever dismissed. Let us all learn to listen. In her final years, she recorded her ghost tapes, oral histories, lessons, whispered wisdom. She passed at 98. Thousands mourned, while millions watched live. Honor guards formed by Ghost Academy graduates, paired with photos of lives uniquely changed. In the eulogy, the senator's daughter, now president, told the world, she taught us that heroes don't need capes. Sometimes they wield mops. Her legacy wasn't in accolades, but in minds changed, systems transformed, prejudices shattered. Centuries later, her name, Natalia Baker, stood beside history's greatest thinkers and heroes. Pilgrims to the original site learned her final lesson. Someone you dismiss today may be the one saving your life tomorrow. The question is, will you see them in time? As you go on, next time you brush shoulders with the unnoticed, whether it's the barista, the cleaning staff, the guard, pause. They might carry wisdom you couldn't imagine. Have you ever underestimated someone, only to be proven wrong? Share your ghost moment below, when someone surprised you, when perception beat assumption, because the most powerful shot is the one that shatters biases and opens hearts. You won't believe what Natalia did when everyone told her to keep scrubbing tiles instead of offering tactical advice. Picture this. In the dead of night, a single bullet sails through the sky, striking a target so incredibly precise that no elite marksman would ever dream of pulling it off. 6 hours earlier, the same woman had been kicked out of a high-security training facility like trash, dismissed as nothing more than a cleaner with a mop and a pair of gloves. What happened in those 12 hours? Stick around. Natalia Baker was 42 years old, worn hands from cleaning offices, corridors, and bathrooms, but eyes honed sharper than any laser sight. Falcon Security, the high-tech operation guarding an upcoming speech by Senator Williams, was riddled with weaknesses she discovered. Small things like wind tunnels between buildings, line-of-sight angles, tile layouts that echoed footsteps. She tried to warn the CEO, Hubert Murphy, but his reaction was brutal. Stick to what you know. Bleach and toilet bowls. We don't need advice from a cleaning lady. Then Clement Owen, Falcon's superstar sniper, literally ripped apart her sketches without seeing a single line. Listen, Grandma, I've done 50 missions. I don't need pointers from someone who probably thinks a rifle is a broom. The guards laughed. They didn't see the ghost beneath the uniform. The most decorated female sniper in military history. 127 missions, 0 failures. That night, she couldn't sleep. But she didn't rest. She mapped the streets outside her window, studied wind patterns through cracks in her apartment, noted the glare angles at different times of day. By dawn, she had pinpointed 17 vulnerabilities, and she knew which roof would make the perfect elevated firing line. She wrote it all in an email, methodical, precise, but Murphy trashed it without reading it. His assistant, Catherine Rose, noticed her fierce intensity and curiosity, recognized something in what Natalia had sketched before it disappeared into the trash. The next morning, Catherine cornered her. I saw your email. You're right. But Clement stormed in, dismissing Natalia's concerns again, his arrogance loud enough to echo off the walls. Still, Catherine's belief flickered a glimmer of hope. Falcon's final briefing buzzed with confidence. Perimeter secured, rooftops guarded, sensors online. Senator Williams would speak for half an hour in the plaza and come away safe. But Natalia's hand shook with the force of suppressed warnings. They wouldn't listen to a woman in a cleaning uniform. The guard slipped into gear, murmuring about boring speeches and extra pay. "Did you see that cleaner yesterday?" One muttered. She thought she could play sniper. They laughed their mocking dismissal, blind to the fact that their vulnerability was glowing under their noses. In the plaza, the senator began speaking about veterans and duty. Natalia watched from near the service entrance, heart hammering as her instincts screamed danger. She saw a flicker, light catching metal high above. Without a second thought, she abandoned her cart and raced toward the Apex building. Her legs, 62 years of muscle memory buried under age, shifted into action as adrenaline took over. The lobby was empty. The guard who should have been there was gone, a crack in their defenses. She ignored the slow main elevators and sprinted up the stairs, counting each step with precision born of training. Her lungs burned, but she notes distance, angle, wind in her mind as she climbed. By the 15th floor, she knew everything. Distance approximately 800 yards, wind at 12 knots, angle of depression around 15 degrees. In room 1522, she found what she feared. A sniper adjusting a custom Nemesis Vanquish on a bipod, scope trained on the crowd below. The assassin didn't hear her. He was focused inward, breathing slow, earpiece counting down. This was no lone madman. This was a coordinated kill. She didn't draw from fear. She drew from memory. Her Colt .45, Michael's gun. It lay hidden in her cleaning pouch, carried forevermore out of sentiment and survival. She pressed it into her hand. The sniper's finger curled on the trigger. Time slowed. Every calculation she'd ever learned about airflow, thermal currents, urban architecture, they all converged now. She raised the pistol, dialed for Kentucky windage, aimed far off target, and let wind itself guide the shot. Clement's team scanned ground level, completely blind to where real danger soared. He exhaled. Her finger squeezed. The hammer fell. The shot echoed in the hallway like thunder behind her. Nobody had ever done this. Hit a sniper 800 yards away with a pistol. The bullet cut through the air, curved like a whisper, struck the assassin in the shoulder, knocking him off the rifle before the shot could ring out. She moved like water across the room, disarmed him with cold efficiency, binding him with shoelaces before the security team even knew what happened. Clement burst through with his rifle jaw open. She sat calm. A bound man and a legendary shot. "I tried to warn you," she said, voice low and clear, pain and vindication coiled together. FBI swarmed the rooftop. Murphy was speechless, watching the footage on repeat. An impossible shot, impossible to explain. "It can't be real," Clement muttered, watching a pistol bullet curve through space and hit its mark at lethal velocity. Catherine pulled out her secret stamp folder. "Gentlemen, meet Ghost, 127 confirmed kills. Kandahar miracle from 2,000 yards on the worst day of the storm. Silence compresses. Experts delve through angles, air currents, arc of the bullet. Dr. Marcus Henderson from MIT publicly declared it defied everything in ballistics. The bullet curved nearly 18 degrees and kept deadly force at 800 yards with a pistol. Only explanation. Her mind warped physics into obeying instinct. She didn't break rules. She refolded the map of possibility. A reporter asked her secret later. Natalia simply smirked. If you spend your life watching how air moves, you learn it has weight, shaped stories. What seems impossible is often just the unseen made visible. The FBI found two shooters positioned exactly where she'd warned. They were apprehended before they even knew their lead was gone. Agent Sarah Chun, the lead, said, "You didn't just save a senator. You stopped what could have been the largest political assassination since Kennedy."